Hi there, Jim Townsend here again. Here's my advertising. You can get onto my website at townsend.b. Please do, because I keep all of this stuff on my website, and there are many links that you can get to. My book here, Without Prejudice, is on my website at gentiledefenseleague.net. You can go on there and read it. Now, what I did when I wrote my book is I love poetry, and I decided to sum up my book in a poem. And you can see that on the back of the book here, I've got my poem, and then I've got all of these wonderful little symbols. So I'm just going to hold that up there for you to look at while I read my book, while I recite my poem for you. My poem is called "The Symbolic Poetic Injustice of Licensed Global Babylonian Domination." Of Swiss, Dutch, British money masters, their crucified soldiers, priests, and lawyers, are Nobel puppet saviors from disasters, by themselves right honorable liars. Of conquest there are methods three: force, religion, and legislation. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis of the free, crown UN debt, enslaver of our nation. Consuming our sacrificed flesh and blood, these morally and ethically depraved legally blindfold us in a feudal wasteland, thinking we've been lawfully saved. Military bishop, legal beast, with glib sea god law upon us all doth prey. Trespassing drug virus, dragon of the east, incorporate debt mortgage night of every day. Babel genocidal emolument, speaking in tongue, anti-Semitic slayer of indigenous Arabs, rolling double-crossing apologies in the dung of ancient secret golden showered scarabs. What's needed is intelligence, courage, heart, pride, integrity, guts. Can such honorable gentlemen as these depart a royal kick to this lizard's bar mitzvah nuts? Take a close look at this symbology. Isn't symbolism wonderful? You know, if one way to find out about an organization is to ask about memberships, because whenever you apply for a membership, people like to brag, and they tell you all about who's who and all that other sort of stuff. Well, at one point in time, I asked about a membership to the Fabian Society. You see that, the Fabians there? Look close at that little symbol down there. What that little symbol is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, isn't that cool? The Fabian Socialists comprise all of the Scots Parliament, all of the English Parliament, and all the Welsh Parliament, all the Parliament of the United Kingdom. You know, the reason that England is a constitutional monarchy is because of a formal agreement between the Anglican Church and the Parliament of the United Kingdom. You see, Queen Elizabeth is the richest banker in England, and as such, she's also the head of the Anglican Church. Well, as the head of the Anglican Church, she's also the head of government. If you look at all of this wonderful symbolism on here, now you can go on to my website, gentiledefenseleague.org, that's my blog, and go down to my poem, and you can read the poem online and take a close look at this symbology, because the symbology is absolutely fascinating. I mean, think of the symbolism of justice blindfolded, sitting out on the steps of the courthouse. Why would you blindfold justice and sit her out on the steps? Well, it's because you're using the courts to commit crimes on the inside, and these people laugh. They chortle satanically at your gullibility. Take a look at some of these other symbols up here. This one up here is a really neat one. See that? It says the Center for Emerging Threats and Opportunities. Now, that's the Potomac Institute. I actually got that one off of the website at Quantico, Virginia. The Semper Fidelis dudes, who are they? One of their websites. Another interesting one that they had down there was, look at that symbology, Marine Corps. Oh, that's what they are, Marine Corps. War Fighting Laboratory. Did you see the dragon coming out of the friggin' ocean? Here's the thing. You know, if you go into the Canadian Criminal Code, which is the claptrap of the British Crown of Israel in Canada, we can see Her Majesty, we can see the Canadian Armed Forces defined as Her Majesty's Forces raised by Canada. See, Canada's never had their own armed forces. All we've ever had is Goyim cattle raised by Canada for Her Majesty to dispatch as she wants. Now, if you go onto the Queen's website, you can read that only she can dispatch her armies someplace. Tony Blair can't do it. No. Whenever the Queen, see, the British Crown of Israel has been the world's largest drug dealer for centuries. Whenever the Queen went into Afghanistan, she was already sitting there with 10,000 troops waiting for Canada and the U.S. to show up. Well, why did the U.S. go into Afghanistan? Does the Queen run America as well? Well, of course she does. Well, you listen to my definition of treason from the treason video that I did. You know that treason is the act of betraying the government of the state into the hands of a foreign power. Has that happened in America too? Well, let me think about this. You know, whenever somebody is knighted, they get on bended knee and they swear allegiance to their liege lord. Have American people that have been elected by the state to represent the state gone off to a foreign power and sworn allegiance to them? Of course they have. Sir Ronald Reagan was the President of the United States when Sir George Herbert Walker Bush, who is another Jewish fellow, he's the sixth cousin of Queen Elizabeth, was running the CIA. Well, who started the CIA? You see, the CIA was started by the OSS, which was started by MI6. Now, here's MI6's logo. Right down there. See that little one right down there? See the brain with the green C around it and the crown on top of it? A brain with a C around it and a crown on top? Crown mind control, is that what that means? And it says on it, Semper Occultus. That means always hidden. Semper Occultus, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Always faithful to whom? So here we have Sir George Herbert Walker Bush was the head of the CIA. What service did Rudolph Giuliani give the British Crown that he got knighted 1 month after the WTC debacle? Was it because he got rid of all the evidence? He carted away all of the metal before it was able to be forensically examined? Sir Rudolph Giuliani got down on bended knee, swore allegiance to a foreign power. Who was head of the American Armed Forces whenever America went into Afghanistan? Sir Colin Powell. Sir Colin Powell, another guy that swore allegiance to the British Empire. Isn't that an act of treason too? And what about whenever the United States was over in Vietnam? Who was the head of the State Department at that point in time? Sir Henry Kissinger. And you know, it's really interesting because on the 200th anniversary of Jeremy Bentham's birthday, he was the fellow that started MI6, which is Her Majesty's private intelligence agency. You see, these people have started all the intelligence agencies around the world. They started the CIA, which started CSIS. They started the Mossad when the British went into Israel. They've been trying to steal Israel forever, ever since the lying little Jew Jacob dreamed that God gave it to him. But that wasn't Israel. He said, go into the land of Canaan. Well, I belong to the Canaanites now, and this time around it belongs to the Palestinians. It was never the Jews in the first place. These people are liars. These people are thieves. You know, it says so in their own Bible. Read Deuteronomy 20, verses 10 to 20. Now, think about this. You know, banks and churches, they're the same damn thing. The Queen's the richest banker in the world. She owns Coutts Bank. She's also the head of the Anglican Church. Who's the Pope? The Pope wears the Triple Crown. There's his little Triple Crown. This is actually the Pope's crest right here. See this little thing that looks like a scarab beetle? I put a little scarab beetle beside it so that you can see it. He wears a Triple Crown. He claims to be the King of Heaven, the earth, and the underworld. He's the King of God and the King of Devil as well, and he's the Vicar of Christ. He says that Christ confesses his sins to him. Well, you know, if Christ died for our sins, and these people say that God gives them the right to rule us in the courts, you go into the court, the Queen's crest is on the wall, it says, "Douay mon droit," God in my right. The RCMP got written on their car, "Maintien le droit," maintain the right. The Bar Association, bar mitzvah, it's a Hebrew word, means son of the divine law, and the Queen rules by divine right. Come on, put it all together. We know who this little Antichrist is and who her minions are that are attacking us in our own country, and they're all committing acts of treason. And you need to sit down and you need to deal with these definitions in a logical manner. Think it through, and we're going to get out of this because we're all going to turn our backs on it and walk away from these people. Peace, y'all. Love you. Take care.